Hello, this is Eric Thompson. I am the president of Peerless Wealth. We are an SEC registered investment advisory located and headquartered in Columbus, Ohio. Thank you for joining. This one is on protecting yourself and your loved ones against scams and financial fraud. And I'm going to start with an unfortunate story. I had a client of mine who is probably in his early 60s. I remember my wife and I were actually getting ready for bed. It was like 11 p.m. and my phone rings and I see it's him and I'm like, that's weird. I hope nothing's wrong. So I answer it. Unfortunately, his mom, who was in her 80s and a widow, got scammed out of $500,000. It was a sophisticated network of scammers. I think it was some sort of story about how they were the IRS. It took weeks of building trust and phone calls, and eventually they got her to release her checking account and routing number, and they yanked the money. I don't know if she's going to get it back. You know, I told him what I knew is, you know, you got to go to the authorities when that happens. The police, they have a specific department. And I think they're still after the people. I think she got some of it back, but I'm not sure. Now, why she had 500 grand in a checking account, that's another story. But this is especially important for senior citizens. That's who they tend to target. They target seniors because they're less tech savvy, typically. They're more trusting. They often live alone and can feel isolated. And it's not, you know, falling victim to this, it's not necessarily about intelligence. These guys are really smart. They can use AI tools now to mimic voices of people. It's super important to kind of know their tactics so you can arm yourself to not fall prey. And I'm going to go over some of these tactics they use. And I'm also going to go over some things we do at our firm to make sure it doesn't happen to you know, us and our clients. Here's some common scams. IRS Medicare. They threaten you with arrest. They threaten you to suspend your benefit, that you're going to owe a lot of taxes. IRS always has to send physical letters. Okay, don't fall for any of the phone stuff. Grandparent scam. I'm in trouble. Send money. Don't tell anyone. It'll be from your grandkid. Maybe they're in another country. Red flag. Tech support. They claim your computer is affected. You have a virus, and they request remote access. No, absolutely not. Text and email phishing. That's phishing with a PH. Fake bank alerts. Your account is locked, click here. No, don't click there. If you're in doubt, don't open an attachment and don't click on things. When you open that attachment, it can potentially give that scamster control or visibility into your computer. Fake charity solicitations after disasters, that's another one. I'll tell you one that I've been getting a lot lately is the toll roads, which you owe $17 to the Pennsylvania Turnpike. And this one for me is tricky because we actually travel to Chicago and Pennsylvania for youth sports, and we use those toll roads a lot, so we know it could be legit. One thing I've done, if you use AI, specifically I use ChatGPT, do a screenshot or a screen grab, put it into ChatGPT and say, is this legit? And every time I've done that, it has not been legit. And they'll tell you why. They're like, oh, because of this, this, and this. Other red flags, pressure to act immediately. Requests for gift cards, wire transfers, or crypto. Refusal to let you hang up or consult a family member. Typos, odd links, misspelled emails. Claims of secrecy, don't tell anyone. That specifically is what got my client's mother into that situation. They acted like it was a big secret and she couldn't tell anybody. And she was not 100% there mentally, but she wasn't 100% not there either. So it's really unfortunate. Just hang up the phone. Don't click links. Visit official website. Verify with family members before sending any money. Never give social security numbers, account numbers, or passwords to callers. Call your financial advisor before making any out-of-character transfers. Review financial statements monthly. I do this, my bank account especially, and my credit card and debit card. And usually I don't catch fraud. It's usually things that I wasn't even aware I signed up for that are really small amounts. but they add up and they just think that because it's a small amount, you won't notice it. A couple of things that we do at our firm to safeguard against this. Number one is if you have one of your parents, for example, that has money and that has accounts, we run into this quite a few, is that you can have some authority over that account. We have a formal way of doing that called a limited power of attorney, where the older client can give authority, written, authority for, let's say, their son or daughter to get statements from us, ask us questions, sit in on reviews, that sort of thing. And it's not a full power of attorney because it just covers the accounts we're handling. But that's a good step. Full power of attorney would be over everything. Just send this video to a parent or grandparent that you think might be affected by this. The other thing we do at our firm is we never send any money out to any of our clients without verbal confirmation. We want to make sure it's the client on the other end. We have had a couple cases where I've gotten an email that looks like it's from the client. The reason it looks like it's from the client because the fraudster hacked into my client's email, noticed that there'd been some communication with me, figured, oh, she has an advisor, she has some money, then sent me an email that looked like it was from her, said, hey, I need 12 grand. Sometimes when clients are retired, it's not totally out of character for them to, ask for their money. That's why you save, so you can spend it in retirement. But it's always a red flag when we get, random requests like that. And so I call the client, hey, did you request 12 grand? She goes, nope. Okay, not going out. And then we have a process where we send that email to a fraud department to see if they can go catch the person. Even if we fell for that though, that 12 grand in this example, the only bank account we have her investment account linked to is in her name. It would simply go to her account, which wouldn't be that big a deal. However, we've also had cases where the email says, oh, I need 12 grand. And by the way, I've changed my bank account. Here's the new bank account information. That's a total red flag. We always have to have clients physically sign a form when they change their bank account, provide us a voided check. That signature is verified through, in our case, Schwab, through the new account paperwork to make sure signatures match. And we've never had an instance where any of these fraudsters have succeeded because of the safeguards that we have. So, and I want to talk about too, and I'll end on this, SIPC insurance. I had a case at my old firm, which was a larger investment firm, where there was a advisor in our office that did not follow protocol. It was the exact thing I talked about, an email that looked like it was from a client. It was somewhere around 12 grand, and they wanted it to go to a different bank account, and it was a wire transfer. The advisor was busy, he didn't cross his I's and T's, didn't follow protocol, sent the money out, and it actually went to the fraudster. That particular client got reimbursed by something called SIPC, Securities Investor Protection Corp. All of the major firms, whether it's Schwab or Merrill Lynch or Wells Fargo, whatever it may be, pay into this insurance pool. It's a little bit like FDIC with banks. And in that particular case, the client was reimbursed by SIPC because it was the investment firm's fault and it was the advisor's fault. SIPC insurance doesn't cover your investments from going down in value. That'll happen occasionally. But it does cover, if someone at my firm or someone at Schwab is responsible for not acting the way they should, it'll cover that. So there are safeguards in place, but most importantly, communicate this to anyone you think might be affected. I don't want to get another phone call like the one I got earlier this year. Hope you learned something. Thanks again for tuning in. See you next time.